The notification lit up my phone screen at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I was halfway through a beer sitting on my apartment balcony, watching the city lights flicker in October darkness. 3 years had passed since the divorce from Jennifer, and I did finally started sleeping through the night again. The message was from her sister, Olivia. David, I know this is strange, but I need to talk to you. It's urgent. Can we meet? I stared at those words for a solid 5 minutes. Olivia and I had always gotten along during my marriage, better than Jennifer and I did toward the end. If I'm honest, she was the calm one in that family, the mediator, who did try desperately to help us work things out. When Jennifer left me for her colleague, Olivia had sent me a single text. I'm sorry. You deserved better. That was 3 years ago. Radio silence since. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. Every rational part of my brain screamed to ignore it, but I did build a new life, a promotion at the architecture firm, a decent apartment downtown. Even started dating again. Natalie, the woman I did been seeing for 6 months, had just left her toothbrush at my place. Things were finally normal. But curiosity is a powerful thing. When and where? I typed back. The response came immediately, as if she did been waiting by her phone. Tomorrow, the coffee shop on Morrison Street, 2 p.m.? I agreed, then immediately regretted it. Sleep didn't come easy that night. I tossed and turned, my mind racing through possibilities. Was Jennifer sick? Had something happened to their parents? Maybe Olivia needed money, though that seemed unlikely. She did marry a successful surgeon 2 years ago, right around the time I was eating ramen and trying to afford my divorce lawyer. The next morning at work, I was useless. My junior associate, Tommy, had to ask me the same question about the Henderson project 3 times before I actually heard him. You okay, boss? He finally asked. You look like you have seen a ghost, something like that, I muttered, turning back to my computer screen without really seeing it. At 1:30 p.m., I left the office early, claiming a dentist appointment. The October air was crisp, leaves crunching under my feet as I walked the 4 blocks to Morrison Street. I arrived 15 minutes earlier, and I ordered a black coffee. I didn't drink, chose a corner table where I could watch the door. Olivia walked in at exactly 2 p.m. She looked different, thinner, her dark hair shorter than I remember, cut into a sleek bob that framed her face. She wore a gray peacoat and black jeans, her hands shoved deep in her pockets. When our eyes met, something flickered across her face. Nervousness, relief. I never knew. She slid into the seat across from me without ordering anything. Thanks for coming, she said quietly. I wasn't sure you would. I almost didn't. I leaned back, crossing my arms. What's this about, Olivia? She took a deep breath and I noticed her hands were shaking. Jennifer's getting remarried to Richard, the guy she left you for. I waited. That couldn't be the urgent news. I did made my peace with that a long time ago. But that's not why I'm here, Olivia continued, her green eyes meeting mine with an intensity that made my chest tighten. David, I need to tell you something I should have told you 3 years ago. Something that changes everything. Olivia's fingers traced the edge of the table, her wedding ring catching the afternoon light streaming through the coffee shop window. I noticed the dark circles under her eyes, the way her jaw clenched before she spoke again. Before I say this, I need you to know I'm not proud of keeping quiet. Her voice was barely above a whisper. But Jennifer's my sister and family loyalty. It made me do things I'm not proud of. Olivia, just say it. My patience was wearing thin. The affair started 6 months before she told you. Maybe longer. She finally looked up at me. I knew about it. I saw them together at a hotel downtown. When I confronted Jennifer, she begged me not to tell you. She was trying to figure out things. But she never did. The words hit me like a physical blow, but I kept my face neutral. That's what you came here to tell me. Ancient story? No. She reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. I came to tell you this. She slid the phone across the table. On the screen was a text conversation between her and Jennifer from last week. I scrolled through, my coffee going cold as I read. Jennifer had asked Olivia to reach out to me, to test the waters and see if I was still angry, still hurt, because apparently Jennifer wanted me at the wedding. Not just there, she wanted me to give a toast, to show everyone that we did move past everything, and that there were no hard feelings. She's out of her mind, I said flatly, sliding the phone back. There is no more Olivia. There is no more. Olivia's voice cracked slightly. My marriage to Scott, it's ending. Has been for months. We're just keeping up appearances until after the holidays because his family is complicated. I didn't know what to say. I'm sorry. Don't be. It's been dead for a while. She pulled her coat tighter around herself. The thing is, going through this, watching my marriage fall apart, it made me realize something. I've been thinking about it for months, David. About you, about us. Us? I repeated carefully. There is no us, Olivia. There never was. That's not entirely true. Her eyes were glistening now, and I felt my stomach drop. Do you remember Jennifer's 13th birthday party? The one at the lake house. I remembered. It was about 4 months before Jennifer left me. We did all gone up for weekend. Jennifer, me, Olivia, Scott, and a few other friends. You and I stayed up all night talking on the dock. Olivia continued. Everyone else had gone to bed. We talked about everything, your dreams of designing sustainable buildings, my regrets about giving up teaching, the way we both felt trapped, lives we hadn't really chosen. I did remember. It had been one of the few genuinely good moments from that entire horrible year. I almost kissed you that night, Olivia said softly. I wanted to do so badly. But you were married to my sister, and I was married to Scott, and it was wrong. So I went to bed instead, and I wondered ever since what would have been if that would have happened. Olivia, I know. This is insane, she interrupted. I know the timing is terrible, and I know you probably think I'm crazy for even saying this. But I'm getting divorced. You're free, and life is too short to keep pretending we don't feel things we feel. What exactly are you saying? My heart was pounding now. She reached across the table and took my hand. Her skin was warm, her grip firm. I'm saying I've had feelings for you for years, David. Real feelings, and I hope, maybe you felt something too. That night at the lake, the way you looked at me, sometimes during family dinners, the way we could talk for hours about nothing and everything. I pulled my hand back, standing abruptly. The chair scraped loudly against the floor, drawing glances from other patrons. This is... Olivia, you can't just drop this on me. Your sister, my ex-wife, is getting married. You're telling me she cheated longer than I knew? And now you're confessing you have had feelings for me. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't know, she said, standing too. But I couldn't let you walk around not knowing. I could not go to Jennifer's wedding and watch her marry Richard and see you potentially there playing the gracious ex husband without telling you the truth. All of it. We stood there in the middle of the coffee shop, the air between us electric with tension and unspoken words. Finally, I grabbed my jacket. I need to think, David. Wait. But I was already walking out into the cold October afternoon, my mind reeling, my carefully built life suddenly feeling like it was built on sand. I didn't go back to office. Instead, I walked for hours through the city, trying to process everything Olivia had said. By the time I finally made it home, the sun was setting and my phone was full of missed calls. Two from the office, one from Tommy, and five from Natalie, the woman I was actually dating, who knew nothing about the bomb that had just been dropped in my lap. I called her back. Hey, sorry, work got crazy. I lied. That's okay. I was calling to see if you wanted to come over tonight. I'm making pasta. Her voice was light, cheerful, normal. Everything in my life had been normal this morning. Now nothing was. Actually, something came up. Can I take a rent check? There was a pause. Is everything okay? You sound weird. Yeah, just tired. Long day. I'll call you tomorrow. After we hung up, I poured myself a whiskey and sat in the dark living room, Olivia's words playing on repeat in my head. The affair had started earlier. The affair had started earlier than I knew. Jennifer wanted me at her wedding. Olivia had feelings for me. That last part was the one I couldn't stop thinking about. The lake house, that night. I did been so unhappy in my marriage by that point, feeling disconnected from Jennifer like we were roommates going through the motions. And then Olivia and I had ended up on that dock. And for the first time in months, I did felt seen, understood. I wanted to kiss her too. The realization hit me like a truck. I did buried it, convinced myself it was just the whiskey, and the moonlight and the general dissatisfaction with my life. But sitting here now, 3 years later, I could admit the truth. I did been attracted to Olivia. Maybe more than attracted. My phone buzzed. Another message from her. I know I overwhelmed you today. I'm sorry. But please, don't shut me out completely. Can we talk again, please? I stared at the message for a long time before responding. Give me a few days. The next morning I was in my office early trying to focus on actual work when Tommy knocked on my door. Boss, you have got a visitor. My stomach sank. If it's someone named Olivia, it's your ex-wife. The room seemed to tilt. Jennifer stood in the doorway behind Tommy, looking exactly as I remembered. Blonde hair in loose waves, designer clothes, that smile that had once made my heart race, now made my blood run cold. Can we talk? She asked, privately. Tommy looked at me questioningly. I nodded, and he left, closing the door behind him. What are you doing here, Jennifer? She sat down uninvitedly, in the chair across from my desk. Olivia told me she met with you yesterday, that she told you things. She did. I wanted to explain about the affair started earlier. I was confused, David. I didn't mean to hurt you. Stop. Just stop. I held up a hand. We're not doing this. The divorce was 3 years ago. You made your choice. I've moved on. Have you? She leaned forward. Because Olivia seemed to think maybe you haven't. Maybe you have been holding on to something. The manipulation was so transparent, it was almost funny. What exactly do you want, Jennifer? I want you to stay away from my sister. And that there it was. Excuse me? She is vulnerable right now. Her marriage is falling apart. She's emotional and she's clearly projecting something onto you. Some fantasy about what you could have been. Jennifer's voice had that sharp edge I remembered from our worst fights. She doesn't actually have feelings for you, David. She's just looking for an escape from her own life. You don't get to decide that or control who I talk to. I'm trying to protect her and honestly to protect you too. You have built a nice life. You're dating someone, right? Olivia mentioned some woman. Do you really want to blow that up for my sister? How do you even know about Natalie? But even as I asked, I knew. Olivia must have mentioned it. Jennifer understood. All I'm saying is be smart. Olivia is going through something. In 6 months, she'll regret ever reaching out to you. Don't let her drag you into her mess. After she left, I sat at my desk, my hands shaking with anger. The audacity of Jennifer showing up here trying to manage the situation like I was just another variable in her perfect life. My phone buzzed. This time it was Olivia. Jennifer just left my house. She's furious I told you the truth. David, I need to see you tonight. Please. There is more you need to know about why she really wants you at that wedding. The next morning, I woke up in Olivia's bed, sunlight streaming through the windows. I hadn't bothered to notice the night before. She was still asleep beside me, her dark hair spread across the pillow, one hand curled under her cheek. The reality of what we did done hit me like ice water. I did cheated on Natalie. Sort of. We did never explicitly said we were exclusive, but we did been dating for 6 months. We did met each other's friends. Her toothbrush was at my apartment. That counted. I carefully extracted myself from the bed and found my clothes scattered across Olivia's bedroom floor. She stirred as I was pulling on my shirt. She stirred as I was pulling on my shirt. You're leaving? She said quietly. Not a question. I have to figure out something out. I have to figure some things out. She sat up, holding the sheet to her chest. Are you going to tell me last night was a mistake? I sat on the edge of the bed. I don't know what it was. All I know is I'm not the kind of man who does this, who sleeps with someone else, someone while dating someone they promised. You are also not the kind of man who still has feelings for his ex-wife's sister. Her voice was gentle, not accusatory. Maybe, maybe, you're not exactly who you thought you were. Maybe, that's okay. I left without a clear answer, driving home through the Saturday morning traffic with my mind racing. I needed to talk to Natalie. I owed her honesty, even if that honesty destroyed what we had. She was at my apartment when I arrived, using the spare key I did given her last month. She did brought bagels and I was making coffee in my kitchen, humming along to the music on her phone. So normal, so easy. Hey, she turned with a bright smile. I thought I did surprise you with the breakfast. You have been so weird this week. I figured we could use some quality time, Natalie. Natalie. I said her name twice before telling her everything. Not the details of sleeping with Olivia, but the broad strokes. Jennifer's wedding request, Olivia's confession, the feeling I did been suppressing. To her credit, Natalie listened without interrupting, her hands wrapped around her coffee mug. So what are you saying? She finally asked. That you want to break up? I'm saying I don't know what I want, and that's not fair to you. She was quiet for a long moment and set down her mug with deliberate care. You know what? You're right. It's not fair to me. I've been all in on this relationship, David. I moved my toothbrush here. I introduced you to my parents, and you have been half present for months. That's not. It is true. I felt it. I just didn't want to admit it. She grabbed her purse. I deserve someone who's sure about me, not someone who's still tangled up with his ex-wife's family drama. Natalie, I hope you figure out what you want. She paused at the door. But do me a favor. Make sure you're choosing something because you actually want it, Not just because it's complicated and dramatic. Sometimes the quiet, easy thing is actually the better thing. You just have to be brave enough to choose it. After she left, I spent the rest of the weekend alone, thinking. Monday morning, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Richard, Jennifer's fiance. I think we should meet, he said, man to man. There are things about this situation you don't know. We met at a bar near my office. Richard was tall, conventionally handsome, exactly the kind of guy I did imagine Jennifer leaving me for. He ordered scotch for both of us before I could protest. Jennifer doesn't know I'm here, he started, and if she finds out, she'll lose it. But I feel like I owe you this. Owe me what? The truth about why she really left you. He took a long drink. It wasn't just about falling for me. Jennifer has this pattern. She gets bored easily. She needs drama, conflict, something to fight for. When things get stable and comfortable, she manufactures chaos. Why are you telling me this? Because Olivia is a good person and I have watched Jennifer destroy too many good people. You are thinking about getting involved with her sister. You need to understand that Jennifer won't let it go quietly. She'll make it her mission to ruin it, not because she wants you back, but because she can't stand not being the center of everything. You're marrying her, I pointed out. I know, he smiled grimly. Love makes you stupid. But at least I know what I'm getting into. I'm not sure you do. That night I finally called Olivia. I need to see you, I said, but not at your place, somewhere neutral. We met at the park near the river, the same park where Jennifer and I used to walk on Sunday mornings. Back when we were still pretending to be happy, the irony wasn't lost on me. I broke up with Natalie, I told Olivia, or she broke up with me. It's kind of mutual. David, I'm sorry, don't be. She was right. I was only half there. I took a breath, but I need to know something. Is this real, what you feel? Or is Richard right? Is this just Jennifer's sister getting back at Jennifer in some twisted way? Who's Richard? Olivia looked genuinely confused, and I believed her. David, I don't give you a damn about Jennifer anymore. I stopped trying to compete with her or please her years ago. What I feel for you has nothing to do with her. Prove it. How? Don't go to the wedding. Tell Jennifer you won't be there, that you're done playing her games. Choose yourself. Choose us, if that's what you want. Olivia was quiet for a long moment. Then she pulled out her phone and right there in front of me called Jennifer. I'm not coming to your wedding, she said when Jennifer answered. And I'm not going to apologize for telling David the truth about the affair. You made your choices, I'm making mine. I hope you and Richard are happy. But I'm done being part of your story. She hung up and turned to me. Good enough proof? I pulled her close and kissed her, not caring who might see, not caring about the complications or the drama or the mess. Sometimes the right choice is also the messy one. Sometimes the person you are supposed to be with comes wrapped in impossible circumstances. 3 months later, I skipped Jennifer's wedding. Olivia and I spent that weekend in the mountains instead, in a cabin with no cell service and nothing to do but talk and laugh and build something real out of all the broken pieces. Jennifer sent me one final text. You'll regret this. I deleted it without responding. Some chapters I did finally learn deserve to stay close.